Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It is Hoop Money here with another video for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about LCID or Lucid Group, Lucid Motors, the Tesla killer, whatever you want to call it, guys. Lucid is a stock that has been recently undergoing a teensy-weensy short squeeze. A lot of it is due to fundamentals as well as an analyst's opinion. So we're going to be going over all the data, why this thing dipped just a few weeks ago and why it has been rallying now. So if you enjoyed this content, make sure you guys leave that early thumbs up on the video, because I'm here bringing you guys all things that you guys need to know about meme stocks, short interest stocks, fundamental stocks, and just the entire stock market. So we do this thing every single day the market is open, so I highly appreciate that like. And if you guys would like up to $70 in free stock just for signing up and depositing as little as $1, you can use the link below in the description or in the pinned comments to sign up for Public. Public is an amazing stock brokerage. Anyways, guys, let's just get right into the video. Alright, so we're looking at the hourly candles for Lucid Group, and as you guys can see back here on September 1st, there was a lockup period expiration, meaning that insiders could get into the stock and sell off shares. There was a sell-off from $20 per share all the way down to $15 per share. Now, ever since that day, Lucid Group has been rallying almost consistently with very little red days, and now we're up to $26.27 per share, and a bunch of shorts have been squeezing. There was an Ortex short squeeze signal, which we will go over, as well as some upgraded price targets. Now we have to understand why exactly these shares tanked. So private investment in public equity or PIPE shareholders were allowed to sell for the first time, and this was on September 1st. So it correlates directly with that sell-off that we saw. Added supply onto the market with consistent demand typically yields a lower price. So that's exactly what we saw. But investors with conviction used it as a buying opportunity to buy up the dip. And there has been some other news as well. So we saw Lucid Motors rebounds on Bank of America bullish outlook. This was on September 16th. So Bank of America recently put out a $30 price target on LCID, claiming Lucid to be a mixture of Ferrari and Tesla. Now, Lucid is an early stage growth company that does not have any sales, so currently this is based off of speculation. Obviously, Bank of America analysts probably have more information and have done more fundamental analysis than me on this stock, so I'm not going to get too into the fundamentals myself. However, you can see that on September 14th, a day before the Bank of America price target, there was a Morgan Stanley price target of $12 per share, and then on September 9th, Citigroup had a price target of $28 per share. So 2 out of the 3 analysts that have covered this stock in the past month are bullish on LCID. Now everyone wants to know, will this stock short squeeze? Because there is a decent amount of short interest on LCID. Ortex recently, as of yesterday, you can see right here, they released a buy signal, short squeeze type 3, which is their highest conviction short squeeze signal yesterday, and their average return on this is 15.87%. Now, they only recommended 3 trading days as a holding period, so by tomorrow we should be seeing if this short squeeze has occurred or not. Now, keep in mind that we have to account for T+2, which is the settlement period for returned shares during short squeezes. So we're not going to be able to see how many shorts actually covered till later this week. As far as short interest goes, there was a whopping 15.52 million shares borrowed today and 649,000 shares returned, with an increase of 28% of short interest. So people are definitely shorting this stock like absolute crazy. A 28% increase in short interest is nothing to be ignored. Shorts are hammering in their positions. They're currently sitting at a 9.79% short interest of free float, with 53 million shares currently being shorted. I wouldn't pay too much attention to the 9.79%. We like to compare the estimated short interest to total daily volume. So we have 53 million short interest, and daily volume is is ranging from 30 million to around 100 million depending on the day. So if all shorts were to cover all at once for LCID or Lucid Motors, they would be able to do it within a day or two, and that wouldn't cause a huge price increase. However, I do see a 15 to 20% upside if there is a short squeeze. So here we have utilization and average age on loan on the chart. And the first thing to take note of is just looking at that utilization, or the yellow line on the chart right there. It has pretty much been maxed out at 100 utilization since this initial dump off that we saw in February of LCID, when it was still under the ticker symbol CCIV, or being a SPAC. It also looks like back in May there was a little bit of a short squeeze. We briefly saw utilization dip down to 61%, as well as the average age on loan dip down as well, which is usually an indication of short covering. And ever since June, we've pretty much seen a relatively constant average age on loan, as well as utilization, again sticking at that 99 to 100% mark. Short interest as well has been also hovering around that 7% range, only briefly dipping down 7% for a brief moment, and now we're back up to about 10%, which is the highest short interest that we have seen in a while. Here we have on loan new and on loan return. So the yellow line is the newly shorted shares essentially, and then the orange line is the newly returned shares, T+2. So the orange line essentially signals short covering. We can see that on July 26, 2021, there were 41 million shares that were put on loan. And as you guys can see, the share price was at around 24 to 29 dollars per share that day, and it closed at 26.83. It was a very volatile day, as you guys can see, but that was the highest amount of shares that were put on loan in the past 3 months. Then a few days later, there were a bunch of shares returned. 16 million shares were returned, so those are likely people that did get out as the Lucid's price did start dropping, so there must have been an event at the end of July. You can see right here the headline on July 26, 2021 was Lucid Motors shares rise 11% in the first trading day after SPAC merger. So that's when people probably took out a lot of shares to short it. Anyways, there is a good chance that some of the shorts that got into this stock as soon as there was a ticker change probably still are in this stock, because the typical life cycle for a SPAC is it goes public, its share price suffers. Obviously not every stock is like this. Lucid Motors is definitely a better SPAC than most SPACs that we've seen. It's a better company overall, so it could be a lot different in this case. However, that's the typical trajectory, so I do predict that shorts from that time period, from July, from the end of July, are likely still in this stock. Obviously not all of them. We did see 2 days later 16 million shares did get covered. However, there was 50 million shares shorted that day, and clearly not all of those shares have been covered. Now, ever since that date, there's been roughly the same amount of shares being returned as newly shares put on loan. You can see right here, this was the next big spike up. There was about 10 million shares returned and 10 million shares put on loan. You can see it again here. 13 million shares returned, and then 8 million shares put on loan, and then the next day 9 million shares put on loan and 6 million shares returned. And this pretty much happens throughout August and September, so it's been basically a trading of hands in LCID. So it is hard to tell where exactly most shorts got in on LCID, but you guys can see just from looking at these on loan new and on loan return shares, most of this short activity did start in June and extended all the way to today's date. So if we scroll back and we go back to the beginning of June, we have that right here. Lucid was at $20 per share, and it hasn't really gone above $30 per share. So if we just ignore this whole price action back here and we just start at June, we can do the box technique, which we have done before, and we'll draw that box, and you guys can see this is pretty much the only price action in this box where shorts could have shorted and potentially made money. The cost to borrow is pretty low, so if they did get in anywhere above $27 per share, they're probably up on the stock currently. But there has definitely been some added pressure. As you guys can see, there was the catalyst, the pipe investment right here, where it dropped down to $16 per share. Lots of shorts definitely got in over here as well to anticipate a price drop there, and if they did not cover, they are currently hurting. So as long as this can remain above this $27, $28 per share mark, I believe it could continue to rally, and it'll see its first sign of resistance around the $30 per share, as that has been a historical resistance point, and that's also the Bank of America price target. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that the RSI is a bit overshot on this daily candle. Technical analysis isn't the best way to measure these out. It's better to look at the short interest and see what exactly shorts are doing, especially if you're speculating a short squeeze. Obviously, fundamentals is a completely different scenario anyways. At some point, there should be a pullback. However, it's not really clear when people will begin to take profits. Right now, it does look healthy. It does look like it can continue to run as long as there's a fundamental case for Lucid being above where it's at right now. Looking at the flow from this minute, it is way more calls than puts being traded, although a lot are being bearish, which means people are shorting call options. You can see it again here. There's way more call versus put volume. There's way more call versus put premium. However, the bearish premium is up as well, meaning people are shorting these call options. Another thing to keep in consideration here is Unusual Whales lists the 10 biggest option trades recently, and that usually gives a good idea of what the sentiment is for big money players in this stock, and it's all call options. As you guys can see, people tend to avoid buying puts when they're making a bearish bet off of highly volatile stocks, just because the premium is so expensive. It's pricing in such a huge move, and they can capitalize off of that volatility by selling the call option instead. And you can see 8 out of the 10 bets were shorting call options, so that is something to be careful of. LCID is not on the threshold security list, meaning that there aren't failure to delivers, and there's likely not going to be a liquidity crisis in this stock. And then just taking a look at the trending tickers on stock ticks, LCID is the number 2 trending ticker, so it does have that social sentiment momentum currently. That's all I have for LCID or Lucid Motors. It's a very innovative play. It's a very speculative play. They don't have any sales currently, and you're really just betting on the future of them as a company. But they are a solid company, and they do have some very good technology. So I'm excited what they do in the future. I don't currently hold a long or a short position. It's been hard for me to do an actual fundamental analysis on this stock, as it is pre-revenue. I'd like to see where this company goes and develops, and then I'll pay a premium for this stock in the future. However, some analysts do believe it's worth $28 to $30 per share, so that is always a great thing to see if you are a bull on this stock. I do think it is a likely situation that it does hit 30, but it's not financial advice. If you go out there and you buy this stock and you chase this stock hoping that it gets to 30 because I say so, that is your fault. All right, I'm not responsible for your losses if you do decide to buy this stock. I'm just here to provide the information for you guys so that you guys can educate yourselves and make those trades on your own. That's about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I enjoyed making it as always. Please leave that like on the video if you guys haven't already. If you guys learned something today, definitely leave that like. Subscribe if you're new and hit that bell down below. That's about it for the video. If you guys wanted to sign up for public, check out that link below. Great stock brokerage. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed and have a wonderful day. Peace.